ladies, good morning, happy Friday. I'm not in my car right now as I have been in my past couple lives. Anyway, we are just coming on here today to talk about day 5 for scheduling. So just waiting for Maya to hop on, but I'll begin. And scheduling is one of my favorite things to talk about, and a lot of times people don't refer it to as self-care, but I find that the way we use our energy and our time is very important to, it correlates with how we feel. So if we're draining our time and energy in something that doesn't light us up, we're obviously going to be exhausted and overwhelmed, and which is not a good place to be. And the opposite is true. If you're spending your time doing something that, fills you up, and it could be different for everyone, that gives you that energy, that life. And I'm not sure where Maya is, but okay. So we'll just continue because she's using a room, and there she is.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm not sure how long I'm going to be on for. I am at the hospital. My boyfriend's having surgery, so the surgeon's supposed to be in, so I may have to hop off really quickly, but I'm showing up.
No problem. Showing up. That's what we are here for.
Yes.
So yeah. I was just saying about scheduling. It's a self-care thing that most people don't think about it as self-care. But if you take a look at your schedule and seeing where your energy goes, and most people don't do this. Most people don't have weekly planning sessions, which we talk about in the masterclass. But if you do, shed light on that, you will see where your energy is draining. So it's just a great tool to use, and then also to have a list of things that you like to do and to kind of just put them in your week. Yeah.
Right. And I think it's also really important. I know I talked yesterday about my experience with, I took last weekend and did nothing. And I was actually talking to one of my other friends yesterday, and she's been really stressed this week. And I was like, so what's your weekend look like? And she's like, oh, on this day I have this, and on the next day I have something else. And I was like, girl, you need a day, you got to clear your calendar. Mm-hmm. And it empowered her she actually she had something that wasn't, I feel like I'm getting background noise. She had something on Sunday that she didn't necessarily need to do, and she canceled. And she was like, those women will understand, it was just a group of, other moms. And so she has a free day on Sunday. And that is so incredibly powerful to have that white space where you actually can get some stuff done, but not feel that scurry. Because I totally get it. Every morning and every night, the scramble of getting people out the door, getting people into bed, and all that stuff is hard. And so having the freedom when you can to just go with the flow is so incredibly empowering.
Yeah. So I just wanted to put out, Ellen wrote us an email, who's in a group. She says, I think it will be interesting to find out more on how we can put ourselves as a priority and not feel guilty about it, and schedule me time. So this is so huge. It's one of the most important things that we
and I know
we repeat over and over because it's so important. We need to constantly hear you have permission to schedule in your time, to prioritize yourself. Ladies, if you're not taking care of yourself, prioritizing your needs first, you will snap at your kids, you'll snap at your husband, there just won't be enough juice in your life.
And I think it's also, and I think also, my kids know that I need that time because I've taught them that I need that time. Even this morning, I needed to get out the door at 7, which usually the bus comes at 8:15. So we had to push an hour or so faster than usual. And my son woke up at 5, completely, kind of interrupted my whole morning. I had a plan, and it did not happen. But so he woke up, and then I heard my daughter down the hall, and she's like, Mom. And I was like, I was like, you got to go back to bed, girl. And she did. And then like when it was time, and so when it was time for her to get up, I went to go, I went in her room and I was like, okay, you can get up and get dressed now. And I was like, did you go back to bed or did you read? And she's like, I read because I knew you needed that time. And I was like, that, because I feel like there's this thing with like social media and like posting all these perfect pictures and only talking about the good things on social media. And it's like teaching mothers from the very beginning that like you're not supposed to do anything for yourself. You lose everything. Meanwhile, the men get to go and like not have anything affect them, at least in my baby daddy world.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, this is my unfiltered.
It's not just in your life, my life. And nobody's gonna schedule self-care time for yourself but you, unless you have that like amazing husband that I saw a post yesterday. My friend, her husband, she just had a second child, and her husband gave her like a big envelope with a bunch of envelopes inside and said, on Saturday your day is planned, and then it had a different time for each envelope to open for different activities. He goes, you're such an amazing mother and you deserve a date to yourself. So unless you have something like that,
that's freaking amazing.
Like a day without kids.
Amazing.
When do you get that? But like there are ways to fit it in. For example, I have daycare that I started a couple months ago, and sometimes when I need to, I carve out time for myself, whether it's to go for a quick walk around the block or listen to something like inspirational, or that lights me up. But whatever it is, if you need to take a bath during the day, like it could just sometimes take 20 minutes, and let it be intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
So Ellen, in what ways can we put ourselves first and not feel guilty about it? You just do it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I feel like the guilt part, and I totally get it, and I completely resonate with it, and I know it's been work, because I know, I used to feel like, I've been self-employed for, I don't know, 7-9 years, something like that, and so like I have always been very diligent. I always get up and I always get dressed. And even though I'm working from home, so I'm very like regimented like that. Surprise. And so I've always been very diligent about like, oh, I've got childcare, so that time is for when I'm working. But I know that over the past year or two, I have gotten to a place where it's okay for me to go on a walk, or like to stop working early, and so that I can throw in a yoga, that way I can center myself before the kids. And so I know that like there's not guilt about it. It's because I know that it's helping my kids, or it's helping the rest of my support system, for me to take care of myself, because nobody is in a good situation when mama's a mess,
Right.
So really you're helping everyone else. And so it's kind of like retraining your brain and giving yourself permission, because somehow it was ingrained in us that like motherhood is supposed to be hard and it's supposed to be stressful, and you're supposed to put yourself last until your kid is, 18 and out of the house. And then all of a sudden, like in mid-age, you're supposed to like, find yourself. No. There has to be some tug and pull, and adaptation, and teaching your kids that like from now, that way when they get into parenthood, they know that that's what it's supposed to look like, because moms losing themselves is not what it's supposed to. It's not.
Right.
Not it.
Right. It's not. And another question Ellen asked was, also as a new mom, one feels like they have to be with their baby all the time, but how to learn to be okay to schedule some time for self-care. Same, very similar.
Yeah.
But in my situation, she asked what has been some tips that worked for us. Being with my mom helps me out a lot with my daughter, and we come from a culture in Europe where it's a little bit, it's much different. They allow the kids to be way more independent than they are here, right? So the way my approach was, to constantly be around my daughter, and like, oh my gosh, she needs me, she needs to hear me breathe, and she needs to see me read, and she needs me to, you know, talk to her constantly, which would honestly drive me crazy. And I'm like, am I talking enough? Am I talking, you know, too much? Like, am I, because I teach my daughter Slovakian too, so I speak Slovakian. Sometimes I'll say stuff in English, and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I talking too much in English? Is she going to remember, you know, like all this talk, right? My mom goes to me one day because it turned into this thing where my daughter had too much of me, and like my mom was able to see that. She goes, look at her, she's like, she can't even relax. so like so she kind of took over for like 2 days, and since then my daughter has slept through the night. My daughter plays independently without me like hovering over her, thinking I have to teach her how to play. And but the other side of that is like, I have this free time. So when this first began, you know, my daughter loves her crib. She goes, that is amazing. Like, that's her space. Like, let her be relaxed, you know? So she'll play with her in her crib, like with books and stuff like that. And I have 20 minutes, and I was like, oh my gosh, I get to do my makeup, like whatever, you know? Yes. Without her screaming and crying down on my legs. So I had to detach myself almost from her, to allow herself to, and then now I get to see like when she wants me around, or when she, you know, and it's more of like a happier dance rather than a forced dance.
Right. And I think, sorry.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that I've learned, and I, like when my kids were babies, I was very, very attached and kind of obsessed with being around them. But I was also in a really negative relationship. So I didn't really want to be around my spouse or anything, you know, so I just focused, like I put all in on my kids. So, but one thing that I've learned is that there is value in these kids having a relationship with a community, not just the mom and not just the dad, but like that they're safe with the neighbors or your best friend or whatever, their grandparents, or, you know, just people in the community. And I think that's really valuable, and it makes them, you know, hopefully more adaptable as they get older. And, you know, kids are born with different temperaments and their ability, you know, attachment and what's the word? Separation anxiety and stuff like that. But that's something that if I were to have another child, like I think I would probably work harder on that, and like letting them have a little bit more time with other people, because I got like super obsessed with being around them.
Yeah.
So
see, I was, thank God for my mom, I was able to see like kind of stop it early. And she does go to my neighbors, you know, maybe like once or twice a week for a couple hours. They have a dog, they love to have her.
Yeah.
You know, I go to my gym 6 days a week now, the daycare there, everyone loves her, you know, because she knows like this is just part of her routine. And I make my ritual around my schedule, stuff that I need to get done. I need to exercise, you know, I need to do all these things. So she's going to come along, and she's not going to say no. I mean, she's going to make the best of it.
Right.
And that's her life now. So, you know, instead of planting seeds in your head that, oh, my child likes to just be around, you know, like, what are your limiting beliefs? Like, look at what you're thinking about, like motherhood, and you could rewrite that.
Yeah.
You know, yes, there will be some action steps that you will need to do to make that happen.
Right.
You know, and I just want to add, if you want to hop on a quick call, we do offer free introductory coaching sessions, you know, where we go on a call for 45 minutes. We kind of dive deep into your life, you know, because it's hard to, you know, just go through comments and seeing where you are. Like, if you really are ready to take it to the next level, you know, book a call. We, you know, it could be the most like important 45 minutes of your life, just by, you know, putting that mirror in front of like what's working, what's not working. You know, we can set up a plan with you, and if we could help you, we will go forward with that. If not, we will just steer you to, you know, wherever we can, where we know it, you know, whether it's our resources or somebody else that can help you to take it to that next level.
Right.
Because we all deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also, we wanted to mention, we will be, the challenge is over today. There's still ways that you can participate, and it's been amazing to see all your support and support each other.
Yes. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like this community is really like a dream come true for Michaela and I. We are just so happy with how everyone is engaging and supporting each other and appreciating, the content that we're putting out there. It's awesome.
Right. And also just think about the value of the community that we're building and creating that space and showing up for each other. And it will just take us where we need to go that much quicker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we'll be announcing the mama that participates the most in the challenge. We'll be announcing that later. We're going to work on tallying that up, which is going to be a little tricky because there's been a lot of participation. So whoever is the participant that participated the most is going to get our introductory 6-week course, self-study course for free. And then we are going to leave
which is a $300 value,
right,
which is an amazing,
right. And we are
amazing.
we're going to leave the cart open for that 6-week course for one more week. And then we're closing it, and we are likely not going to be providing that anymore. So it's just open for a little longer. So we hope that you'll participate, because just think about the transformations that you've made during a 5-day challenge. And if you can just like get immersed in those 6 weeks, it's it can be life-changing.
With the proper support.
Yep.
With the proper support.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the cart closes on March 31st, which is next Saturday.
Yep.
So we have a link that takes you to the website that gives you full details of, what is included in the course. And like Maya said, most likely we will not be having this. Maybe we'll have it within our bigger courses, as part of, like a jump start. But we just thought it would be fun to do the challenge and to offer something affordable to the mamas out there.
Yeah.
Because we want everybody to live an energized, happy, fulfilling life.
Right. Yep. So we'll share those links. We'll share the links for the free coaching calls, and we'll share the link for the 6-week program. And we'll be posting probably this afternoon about who the person that participated the most was.
Exactly.
All right.
I love you, ladies.
Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Bye.
Thank you.
And just make sure that you take each day's challenge into the future.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's
all right.
That's our wish.
Love you,
Okay.
ladies. Bye.
Love you.